The morning sun spilled across Rockefeller Plaza, where the iconic glass windows of the Today Show studio gleamed like polished mirrors. Crowds had already gathered outside, holding colorful signs that read, "We love Blake" and "Team Shelton Forever." They weren't just here for the morning broadcast, they were here for the country superstar himself. Blake Shelton, tall and casually rugged in his denim jacket and boots, was the special guest for Today with Jenna and Friends. He was expected to laugh, charm the audience, and maybe even sing a verse or two. At least, that's what the producers had planned. Inside the studio, Jenna Hager was adjusting her notes, her smile bright but her mind racing. Hosting Blake was always unpredictable. He could be funny and sweet, or he could be stubborn and sharp. And today, she sensed something was different. He looked tense from the moment he walked in. "Blake," Jenna greeted cheerfully as the cameras rolled. "Welcome back. You've been on tour, you've been busy on The Voice, how does it feel to finally have a little downtime?" The audience clapped warmly, eager for his signature wit. Blake leaned back in his chair, flashing a polite smile, but his eyes carried a shadow. "Well, Jenna," he drawled, "downtime is great, but sometimes people don't let you enjoy it. Seems like every time I sit down, someone's trying to drag me into drama." The audience chuckled awkwardly. Jenna tilted her head, sensing the tension. "Oh, drama," she teased lightly. "Now Blake, you know we love a little drama on morning TV. What's going on?" But Blake wasn't laughing. He shifted forward, placing his hands firmly on his knees. "What's going on," he said with surprising seriousness, "is that people keep twisting my words, turning me into some headline. And frankly, I'm sick of it." The crowd went quiet. Even Jenna blinked, caught off guard. This wasn't the easygoing Blake they expected. "Blake," she began cautiously, "are you talking about the interview you did last week? Because I think everyone just—" He cut her off, his voice rising. "No, Jenna, I'm talking about this whole machine. The media, the rumors, the way people want to pit artists against each other just to sell a story. I'm not here to play that game." The air thickened with tension. The live studio audience shifted in their seats. Jenna tried to diffuse it with a gentle laugh. "Well, you know we're friends here, Blake. This isn't about gossip. We just want to celebrate you, your music, your new projects." But Blake leaned back again, his jaw tight. "You say that, but I've seen the notes. I know what questions are coming. You want me to comment on stuff that ain't your business and sure as hell ain't mine anymore." Now the audience gasped. Everyone knew what he was hinting at. The producers had wanted him to address personal matters, his relationship with Gwen Stefani, the rumors about disagreements on The Voice, and whispers about whether he was considering leaving music altogether. Jenna's smile faltered. She wasn't used to losing control of an interview, especially not live. "Blake," she said softly, "you know I respect you, and I don't want to put you in a corner. But our viewers, your fans, care about you. They want to hear your side." For a moment, Blake stared at her, his eyes filled with both frustration and hurt. Then he stood up abruptly. The cameras kept rolling. The audience gasped louder. "You know what, Jenna?" he said, his voice firm but steady. "If my fans want to hear from me, they'll hear it in my music. Not in some morning show circus." And with that, Blake Shelton turned, gave a quick wave to the stunned crowd, and walked straight off the set. The producers panicked. Jenna sat frozen, her cue cards trembling slightly in her hands. The cameras cut to an emergency commercial break. But the damage was already done. Blake Shelton had just walked out, live on national television. And the whole country was about to start talking. The commercial break stretched longer than usual, but nothing could erase what millions of viewers had already witnessed. By the time the cameras returned to Jenna, her smile was back in place, though her eyes betrayed a flicker of unease. "Well," she said carefully, "live television is always full of surprises. We love Blake, and we'll be checking in with him soon. But right now, let's turn to our next segment, fall fashion trends you can actually afford." The audience clapped politely, but their whispers filled the studio. No one was talking about fashion. Everyone was talking about Blake Shelton storming out. Behind the scenes, backstage, chaos erupted. Producers scrambled on headsets, trying to reach Blake's team. One assistant rushed toward the elevators, only to see the country star already striding toward the exit with his long, determined steps. "Blake, please wait," She called, but he didn't stop. He pushed through the glass doors of the studio into the crisp Manhattan air. Paparazzi, tipped off about his appearance, immediately swarmed him. Cameras flashed like lightning as reporters shouted questions. "Blake, why did you walk out? Was that about Gwen? About The Voice? Do you regret leaving live on air?" Blake's only response was a sharp shake of his head. He raised his hand to block the flashes, climbed into a black SUV, and was gone within seconds. Social media explodes. By noon, hashtags were trending worldwide. Hashtag Blake walks out. Hashtag Shelton vs Jenna. Hashtag Today Show drama. Clips of the heated moment were already viral on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Fans were divided. Good for Blake, he stood up for himself. One fan tweeted, "Walking out was so unprofessional. He owes Jenna an apology," another countered. Even celebrities chimed in. Fellow country singer Casey Musgraves posted a cryptic message, "Sometimes silence says more than any interview ever could." Jenna speaks out. That evening, Jenna addressed the situation on Instagram Live. Sitting in her living room with a cup of tea, she looked more like a friend confiding secrets than a TV host. "Look," she said gently, "Blake is someone I admire. He's been on our show before, and he's always been gracious. Today was unexpected. I don't take it personally. He has the right to speak his truth, or not to speak at all." Her calmness won sympathy from many, but others insisted Blake had crossed a line. Blake finally responds. 2 days later, Blake Shelton broke his silence. In a video posted to his official YouTube channel, he sat on the porch of his Oklahoma ranch, guitar in hand. "I'm not gonna make this fancy," he began, his voice steady but emotional. "I've been doing interviews for over 20 years. Most of the time, I don't mind. But lately, I feel like people don't want me. They want a headline. They want me to feed a rumor or stir up something that don't matter." He strummed a quiet chord on his guitar before continuing. "When I walked out of that show, it wasn't about Jenna. She's a good person, and I've got no problem with her. It was about me realizing I don't have to play this game anymore. My music speaks louder than any interview. And if that makes me look difficult, so be it." The video ended with him singing a short, heartfelt verse he'd written that very morning, a song about finding peace and honesty. Public reaction. Fans flooded the comments section with support. "This is the Blake I love, real and raw. You don't owe anyone explanations, man. Just keep making music. Respect for standing up for yourself." But critics remained vocal. Several media outlets accused him of grandstanding and disrespecting live television. Industry insiders debated whether the incident would hurt his career, or, ironically, make him even more popular. The unexpected twist. A week later, Jenna and Blake surprised everyone. They appeared together on a joint Instagram Live, both smiling, both holding coffee mugs. "Guess what?" Jenna laughed. "We're still friends. No hard feelings." Blake chuckled. "Y'all wanted drama. Sorry to disappoint, but we worked it out." Then, in a move no one expected, Blake picked up his guitar and performed the full version of the song he'd teased in his porch video, a song about walking away, but not out of anger, out of self-respect. By the end of the livestream, the comment section was flooded with hearts, applause emojis, and relieved fans. Blake Shelton had walked out of a national broadcast. But in doing so, he had walked straight into one of the most defining, and oddly inspiring, moments of his career. And Jenna Hager. She gained more respect for handling live chaos with grace. In the end, the clash that had threatened to divide them only proved one thing: sometimes, walking away is just another way of standing tall.